Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is December 24th, 2023, and today's today's video is Islam and the invasion of October, or October's invasion. Uh, First, to start with, um, today is Christmas Eve. I wish Merry Christmas for those who celebrate Christmas. Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate Hanukkah. And we wish well for everybody: Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, everyone. Let's start. I received a question, and it's a very good question. I'm going to answer it at the end of the video. Um, and it's actually a very deep question. Why me, myself? I read the Islamic teaching and the stuff, I call it stuff, Muhammad brought as a way of life. Why me, myself, left this nonsense, whereas so many, almost two, I mean, there are few people who left this nonsense, quite a few actually. However, there are also so many who are still following this nonsense. Uh, the reason here is it is very unfortunate that people are doing that, but it has a reason, and we're going to speak about this reason. The video I'm talking about is actually it's an organization called Memory, and they find all the nonsense that Islamic clerk and Muslim people are talking about, and they actually translated. They put English subtitle because it's mainly in Arabic or sometimes in Persian in one of these Islamic speaking countries, so mainly either Arabic or Persian. So they put subtitles so everyone can understand it. If you speak English, which I'm sure if you're listening to this video you speak English, so please, I urge you to see this video that I will put in the description box. So why I called this video the in October invasion, or the invasion of October? This because in the beginning of the founder of Islam, his work with his followers, it was invasion here and invasion there. The invasion of Badr, the invasion of Uhud, the invasion of Khandaq. Many, about 80 invasion, more than 80 invasion in span of 10 years. That's practically about, I think, on average is about every month he has to fight a fight. He has to declare a war on a village or a town or a country and invade them, loot their wealth, rape their women, and do atrocity in the name of Allah. So when you see this video, it is really, it's abuse of children. It's a and I cannot blame, well, of course you can blame the parents because they are the ones who are putting this poison in the children, but because they were also poisoned by their parents and grandparents and so on and so forth, and goes all the way to the teaching of the founder of Islam. When you open the Quran, the very first page, if you read it, it says, God grant us the straight path. Hey, I wish everyone can find that straight path. I'm not against that. Not And it continues, not like those whom you're, the translation is like you're angry with, and those are the Jews, you're angry with them. Or those who lost their path, these are the Christians. So all the Jews are hated by God, and all the Christians lost their way. And who has the way now? The Prophet of Allah. By invading, by killing, by raping. And this is the straight path. I'm explaining that because that, in a way, it was a way for me to wake up and to leave this nonsense. Admit to myself that this was nonsense. Others, I'm going, because this is for the question, I'm also putting it in. Let's, excuse me, let's start by how did Muhammad start? What led to these invasions? Muhammad started in Mecca. In Mecca, he was very poor, dirt poor. Okay? He married a wealthy woman. And if you are a very poor person and you marry a wealthy person, that wealthy person does not come down to your level, but rather you rise up to his or her level. So from dirt poor, he was elevated to be one of the respected people in his area. But after that, he started to speak of Islam. So his wife elevated him. You could say that. Now, when he started to, he actually, reality is he went crazy. He became cuckoo. He had some mental problems. Okay? And for her, she was late in life. She was in her, I think, like about 55 or so. And she was divorced before, and she was a widow. So that was her third marriage. And at the age of 55 in Arabia, she will never get another husband. Finished. She's done. So she had to save him in a way. So she told him, no, all these voices in your head, this because God is talking to you and the angel is coming to you. Okay, he believed it and he carried on. Then when he started to share this nonsense that is coming in his head, now he's a wealthy man because his wife is wealthy. So he invites people. In about 13 years' time, he had about 130 people followed him from Mecca. That's about 10 a year. That's not a huge number, really. Why these people in the beginning followed him? These were very, very poor people. Arabia, Mecca at this time, it was a merchant center. Okay? So you have very, very wealthy people and very, very poor people. Khadija, his wife, was one of these wealthy people. The poor people, they hardly had anything to eat. So when you are invited to come to listen to him, normally he will offer a meal. People will eat. And this is a big thing for the very poor people in this area. At least he's getting a meal a day, something to eat. Whereas the wealthy people in the category of his wife, all of them without exception, told him, These stories we heard before. We know of these stories. It's either Christian stories, Jewish stories, or pagan stories. We know of them. You're not bringing anything new. They couldn't accept him. They were not antagonistic, really. It's just if I come to you and say, I received a revelation from God that He gave me 10 commandments, and He tells me, don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery, don't. If I go to a Jewish rabbi now, and I tell him, I received this revelation, he will tell me, you are about 4,000 years late. This already came with Moses. This almost 4,000 years old. It's not a revelation, sorry. And if I go to a Christian minister and I tell him the same thing, he will tell me the same thing. This came with Moses, long time ago. You're not bringing anything new. So they couldn't accept him. The educated people couldn't accept him. Those who were coming for a meal and totally ignorant, don't know anything. Okay, well, they accepted this stuff. Now, when he went to Mecca, his type of people that followed him, to Medina, the type of people that followed him were warriors. They were the outlaws, that they lived on the edge of town because they were kicked out of towns, because they have committed crime. So their families didn't want them. They were criminals. And these criminals, they lived on the edge of towns, no family life, no wife, nobody. So they will attack caravans, attack villages, loot their wealth, and if they find a girl, they will rape her, or a wife, they will rape the wife and go back. These people, they are the ones who became supporter of the founder of Islam. So Muhammad was not a dumb person. He was actually very charismatic. I must say that. It's not because I don't agree with him. No, he was very charismatic. He was actually in advance, he was ahead of his time. So he knew what these outlaw people desire. They want women because they are living on the edge of town, they are not married. Sometimes they have something to eat, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they find a caravan to loot their wealth and their merchant and sell it and make some money and eat. Sometimes they go hungry. So they lived a miserable life. So what he promised them is many women here on earth. We can go out and loot and get invade the villages and take the women as ours, and you will have in the Quran 1, 2, 3, up to 4 wives, and you can also have concubines, so you'll have endless sex after that. Wow, what a religion. I follow that. Okay. So this was the history of the founder of Islam. And because of the Jewish people and the Christian and the wealthy people didn't believe in him, didn't accept him with good reason, he was very angry with them. So when you read the first page in the Quran, it kind of like he's antagonistic towards especially the Jews and the Christian. Again, in the Quran it says that these people are the people of the book. That means they received the revelations from God. And when you hate them the most, how much are you going to love the Buddhist or the Hindu or any other religion? If the people of the book You call them descendant of pigs and monkeys, and you want to destroy them, and you start invading their villages one after the other, destroying their villages, claiming their wealth, taking it, stealing it, raping their women. This is the He did more than 80 invasion in a span of about 10 years. That is a lot of invasion, a lot of looting. Okay, so the invasion, that is a tradition, a tradition. So giving hate to the believers, those who followed him, hating the Jews, hating the Christian, hating everybody, and everybody must follow me or else. So there are many invasion, especially towards the Jewish villages, because they were a minority in Arabia. So he took the smallest village first, the larger one, until he conquered them all. There was no until there was no Jews or Christian left in Arabia. All of them are either murdered or kicked out. So that hate and resentment it's inherited one generation after the other, because it is in the teaching, it is in the book. So when you listen to that video I put in the description box, it is the mothers and the fathers are teaching the children, babies, whispering in their ears to hate and kill the Jews. From where that tremendous amount of hate came? From the teaching of the founder of Islam. Now, so I mean the hate is actually, it is given to the baby before birth, because the mother and the father are so saturated in this hate. And if you hate, that actually is transmitted to the baby in the womb. And as he is baby growing, he's drinking that hate with the milk, his mother's milk. And now you wonder why the invasion of October 7. I don't wonder, because I know that history. And the Israeli, they should have been more careful, honestly. This is a huge failure. I don't know what this is. It's a huge, because I am very sure the Israelis are aware of this teaching, aware of that hate, aware of what's going on. So this term, I'm not blaming, but I'm saying this is a tremendous failure. Because exactly to the day, almost 50 years ago, on the same holiday, it was October 6, when Egypt, Syria attacked Israel. And it was a big loss too for the Israel. These are invasions inspired by the founder of Islam. Now to the question why somebody, a person like myself, rebel against this teaching, whereas many people and many smart people, okay, are following this teaching. In my opinion, I could be wrong, because this is my own feeling. It is probably fear, because when you read the Quran and see that the founder of Islam told the people, if you leave this, hold on to that faith, otherwise I mean, he described hell in a very graphic way that it is very scary. It's very intimidating for anyone to leave. It is, imagine of an atomic bomb, 100 times the size of the Hiroshima or Nagasaki atomic bomb, explode in your area, and you are the only one left in that destruction. And as you are walking, your skin is melting, and then it builds up quickly and it melts again and again. That's practically in Quran, that your skin will be melting in hell. Fire will eat up your skin, but God will rebuild the new skin so that you can be melted again and again and again, forever. Forever. So some people are actually afraid of that. I mean, you're talking about Dante. When he read the Quran, he wrote that Divine Comedy, or yeah, he had plenty of material to be sarcastic and to joke about, because it's very graphic. So some people get scared of that and they leave it alone. I don't want to go to this kind of hell. I don't want my skin to be melted over and over again forever, for eternity. I don't want fire coming out of my mouth and my eyes. And the thing is, you don't die, you keep burning. So some people are afraid. I wasn't afraid of that. This is nonsense. Some people give into the culture, and some people don't think, unfortunately. So I really don't know exactly, but for me, I took a step back. Why? I don't know, maybe my experience of life, personal experience in life told me take a step back and look at that objectively. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But it's not because I'm smarter than others. No, no. It has nothing to do with intellect. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But each one of us, I spoke to those who left this nonsense, each had different experience. Some people told me, Jesus appeared to me and he told me, leave this and follow me. It wasn't my case. So every person who left this nonsense is different, with different experience. Anyway, we welcome your questions and we hope you comment. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.